gold, everything gap is getting bigger and bigger by the second.
See bot lane. Aaron just looking to get the soul stacking for himself, just trying to get that extra little bit of stats in. The first dragon has been alive for about a minute now, or a little bit more than a minute, and no real big focus, even with the early advantage in gold that JR have had.
Yeah, even though they are winning this 2v2 as oh, that's Lily ultimate.
Oh no! The flash comes out, but it's not going to matter. That's huge. Captain Shrimps is on a killing spree. And really, I just want to give a huge shout out, just randoms, with this squad of members who did have a huge role in participating in the scouting ground. These players who are potentially the next level of play, and they are showing it here today. I mean, they are completely controlling everything about this game.
Yeah, they really are, and every single play, exactly like you mentioned, Lennon, this is so surgical from them. Everything is so calculated. They're not even taking any risks. They're just going for these plays that they know will work because they're so far ahead. And when you're this far ahead, you can go for more and more plays that you know will work because they'll all work.
Yeah.
Here comes War Machine Hyper into the jungle again.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay, he doesn't get it, but he is going to go straight down onto Memento. He is caught out, has to flash. That's huge damage onto War Machine Hyper. The kill. Aaron flashing forward, gets the shutdown. But Princess Cow has to be careful. Captain Shrimp's going to be stunned down. The Lamb's Respite comes out, going to save the day for a little bit longer, but the heroic entrance is going to do some serious damage. A big shutdown going over to Memento, and they could continue this if they want to, but they decide to pull off, and they get a couple kills for it.
All right, well, I think we're going to have to revoke their surgical license at this point, Lennon. That was not nearly as clean as the other ones. That's a pretty big mistake. I think their shift has been a little too long at this point. You got to take a break. You got to go hang out in the break room like in Grey's Anatomy, except in Grey's Anatomy, they mostly just do a bunch of making out in the break room, so maybe not that. Maybe maybe you can just get your head back in the game.
I mean, kind of on par for the point. I mean, you never know what happens behind the closed doors of Summoner's Rift. Nah, that's a slippery slope. Anyways,
yeah, let's move on.
let's go away from that one. Hey, we're looking at the bot lane now. No, but seriously, we have about a 3K gold lead here for just randoms. They haven't gotten too much since that early chaos, though, and they haven't really been putting the pressure on the objectives either. Now, we finally see that coming true. War Machine Hyper has started up the Rift Herald.
And he's gonna have a pretty easy way of doing this as well. The Galio ultimate is just so long of a cooldown. You have to deal with the Call of the Forge God, but we're already seeing that Chim has pushed in this Ornn to the point where he's getting dove again. He's gonna die.
Is the Ornn Horn gonna be used? Showstopper. Oh, in the middle of it. Chim gets taken down. Now Captain Shrimp needs to be careful. He does have the Ornn Horn available to him. He wanted to help his teammate, but unfortunately a little bit of an overcommit from Chem results in his death.
I spoke too soon. Again, I think we're seeing that the Just Randoms members are doing a little bit too much of the break room shenanigans right now. As
oh my God!
Put the sleep.
War Machine Hyper. He had to pop the Lantern's Smite because the sleep was going to do so much damage on the other side of it. Flash comes out. He still has the power and passive on him. The knockup is going to connect, but it doesn't get the kill. You still have Yukio on the backside taking a 1v3. A triple taunt is well done. And Gato! Aaron is picking up the slack for his team right now, and they are shutting it down. That's another kill over. Now War Machine Hyper is going to get rooted up. They go on to Captain Shrimp. That's a lot of damage down, but then watch out. Eep is going to secure the kill. He still gets shut down, though. Now Swordhop has arrived. He's going to be popping these hits now. Can he get the damage down? Can he save Captain Shrimps? The Abscond of Duck Kingslayer is available for him. He will have that healing to him. Does he get the last shot? Captain Shrimps goes down. Whoa. He flashes forward. Short hop with the plays. He does get rooted, though, and he could get chased down here. The slow's coming down. Timmy Turner doesn't get the knockup, but another shutdown going into Aaron. My goodness, this Senna has completely turned the game on its head.
And Just Random's getting so impatient, but Louisiana State capitalizing tremendously. As you mentioned, Aaron, 5 kills on the Senna. They've started up this dragon. They do have to deal with War Machine Hyper. The death timers are just so short. It's still 10 minutes in.
So big right now for the momentum shift that has happened here for LSU. They take the first dragon of the game, where we honestly did not think that this was going to be even a possibility. But with the gold going to the right members, with all of it just being funneled straight into the Senna, who now has a 400 gold lead over her lane opponent, where Short Hop was popping off early in the lane. Meanwhile, Chim taking some damage on the top side is going to take the short bit of damage onto Yukio, and one more hit's going to do it. He does have to flash for it, though, so that's going to be a bit big, but at least they get a decent amount of gold and bring that Galio to 0-4.
Yeah, we didn't mention it earlier, Lennon, but this is actually the lane assignment that I was expecting to see from Just Randoms. I personally was expecting to see Chim, whoever was going to play the set, whether it's Chim or Captain Shrimps, I was expecting the set to be into the mid lane against Yukio's Galio, and then send the Sylas up to the Ornn. That's what I was expecting out of this one, because that matchup for set is just so brutal for the Galio. You can't even use the magic damage shield at all, and your movement is very, like, it's very telegraphed. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
For Chim to really shut down with his face breaker and all of the crowd control that comes down with that. And of course, the Sylas is a pretty well-renowned Ornn counter matchup as well, when you do get to shut him down with all of your healing, and you can steal away the ultimate and do what he does, but better. So that's what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Is they are trying to get that lane assignment down for them. It's a very easy kill for Chim.
Night and day difference between Aaron in this game, but we did see the heroic entrance use the save can be turned, and here comes the Ornhorn. Yukio's right in the middle of all of it. He's going to get very low. The block from the Rom shield is huge. Dawning Shadow comes down. Captain Shrimp's getting very low, but nobody is going to fall after that. Captain Shrimp almost fell to the Winds of War on the backside of it, but these fights are very even. Now we're going to see the Rift Herald used in the mid lane. It will get another tower as they press down onto it. For just a few auto attacks can do it. They do have 3 members here, but Princess Kyle is putting up a good defense, and they actually do so.
And it's mostly because War Machine Hyper is sending all of his attacks into this Rakan. Then the Dream Dust is making it so he has to tank the turret the whole time, so he's just a little too skittish to go forward and attack that turret. But it is still going to stay alive, even though 4 of those plates dropped.
The Abscond duck. Oh my god, Captain Shrimps. Oh, I don't even know what to say in that point. I mean, that's huge. That's a big shutdown going into the Sylas, who we've seen be able to pop off in other games in this meta. He's 5-2 now, Smacks.
He's up 30 CS too. This is gigantic. That's a huge shutdown as well. I didn't see exactly how much gold it was, but 5 kills in this Senna, where she previously had 0 on that death, so that's got to be a gigantic amount. Maybe someone can confirm that one for me as to what number it was exactly, but sheesh!
It's, yeah, sheesh is the right word. I can appreciate that call out for sure. As we do get onto it here in the mid lane, you do still have this tower protecting Yukio, which I think is going to be the next big point of contention here. In bot lane, the tower is getting low as well, but you have Short Hop pressing up his advantage down there. Well, actually, Hyper just pops the emote right now. Why not the mastery? He doesn't have the Eternal mastery, though, and that's a little sad.
Well, I don't have many Eternals either. I don't know how much I'm wanting to spend on that.
I get them for free! I don't know what you're talking about!
You can get it for free?
You can get Eternal capsules. And like,
oh,
they give you
but
random
then
Eternals.
you don't get to pick the champion you want.
Well, yeah, you don't get to pick them, but
yeah,
you know, RNG
I have one for,
being
like,
a
Renekton.
thing.
I'm not playing Renekton support.
For Renekton, well, it's Smacks one trick Renekton from here on out, no matter what. I don't care what you say.
Until I get one for Teemo, I'm still gonna complain. I gotta get my boy.
Oh my goodness.
That's my top laner of choice.
Riot Games, please don't give this man Teemo. He will play it no matter what. But getting back into this game, you do see a heavy focus towards this top side jungle for Just Randoms. The second Rift Herald has spawned. It will be already started up here. Don't think that LSU are going to be able to really contest over this.
Yeah, this is just going to go over to Just Randoms. Of course, there are still the teamfight ultimates. You always have to keep that in mind. Very long distance away, but yeah, it's just everyone in the mid lane here for Louisiana State. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone is here. Even Timmy Turner can teleport on over to this, but they're just trying to get the priority for this dragon. And I gotta commend Louisiana State. They do have that dragon #1. So they have that soul condition for themselves. And if this is the Cloud, they're really going to want to deny that away from the Sylas. I already talked about that.
They have vision here. Short Hop has the flank. This is a really tricky situation for LSU. Here comes the Ornhorn from the Silas. The Ornhorn in response, but it doesn't matter. Aaron's down. The damage is down. War Machine Hyper's in the background, but it's Short Hop picking up the kills, and everything goes to hell in a handbasket for LSU as the Dragon is also secured by Just Random.
Man, all of this AoE damage from Just Randoms, and meanwhile, Memento, he's too focused on the Dragon. He can't get his ultimate down to save his team. That would have been so crucial and so clutch for everyone if he got that one down, but he just really wanted to make sure he stayed in the pit, tried to secure that Dragon, and it paid. Their team paid the ultimate price, losing 4. Again, we're getting a deja vu.
Double knockup, but Memento's very low. You got to be really careful. War Machine Hyper misses the watch out Eep, and they turn it around. He has to get out of there. He's going to try and take the Raptors, as he does, and he will be successful in that. But huge turnaround for LSU. And I was just about to say, the quiet killer in this game is this 10,000 gold lead at 17 minutes, Max. I mean, that is insane. And it's been developed over farm differences, over kill differences, and just over game diff here for Just Randoms. And now they're looking for even more. Got to be really careful, though. One more shot will do it. And Chim has to flash out, but they secure the kill onto the Orange. And I just don't have to question the call to take that fight over the Dragon Pit. They have so much gold, and you were just getting smacked around by it.
Well, they've got even more gold now as Aaron. This could be it.
Aaron getting the turnaround. Look at the damage coming out. Those laser beams do a good amount, but the Hitmaker is going to survive, or help him survive for a little bit longer. One more shot will do it, and that's going to be it. A shutdown going over to Aaron, who is in some trouble now. Needs to be careful as Captain Shrimps and Focus have arrived. One more stun will do it. He steals the ultimate from the Dawning Shadow, but does not. Actually, he goes in for it. Oh, I was about to say Captain Shrimp needs to be really, really careful, as Princess Kyle did pop everything. The quickness, trying to get the grand entrance in there as well, but not going to. And after all that craziness, we get a push in the top side that is very detrimental to LSU.
You know, it's stuff like this where, as a color caster, there's really nothing that you can say that's going to make it sound smart, because none of that was really that smart. Everyone's just walking around. But you were a
thinky boy.
Everyone's just walking around trying to do something. After that Dragon fight, I have nothing. I don't even know what's going on.
So I do have one thing, and it was very well pointed out by our observer, Sam. Feels real bad to be Yukio in this game right now. 4,000 gold in the deficit in the matchup in mid lane. That is a true feels bad.
Yeah, he's got less than Braum. The words straight from producer Sam Price. Shout out to him. He's got a great first name. I like it a lot.
God, Sam. There's no bias here. Come on.
Of course not.
Get out of here. Of course not. But yeah, I mean, the goal difference is immense here, and it calls into question what you do.
Whoopsies.
Maybe misclick? I don't know. Maybe it was just a little BM.
You ever just sneeze and accidentally press R? I've done that.
True. I don't know. It's so hard to take a fight at this point for LSU. You're so far in the deficit. You don't have the scaling that you initially wanted. You have an 0-5 Galio, and really the Kindred, this major source of damage that you were wanting, is not just that. And the real source of damage is Aaron, but how much can Ascena do until she gets these big items, until she gets to the later part of the game?
He's not even going for... Oh, actually... You know what? I take it back. This is a really smart first or second item to go for Senna, because this is an Ornn upgrade. Very, very nice to adapt to that one. You're going to be dealing less damage until you get the upgrade, so you do still need Timmy Turner to hit level 14 for that one to come online, but it's still a very nice lock-in for Aaron as the Senna. And he has got the lethality. He's stacking up that Muramana. He's going to be able to get it very, very soon as... Let's see. Well, how many stacks was it again, Sam? 300? Is that what you said? Oh, that's the soul stack. I was talking about the Manamune. We got 39 souls though for Aaron. That's the magic number on the Senna passive. Oh, yeah, and he's very close to finishing Manamune. All the stacks. Yeah. It's so confusing.
It is. And we also have Kindred Strikes in the game, so you know we can make Sam Price really have to work for his.
He's got 2
this time. Yeah, oh no, that feels so bad. Okay, 21 minutes in, Kindred has 2 stacks, and this is This is that 1 point of damage that Paul highlighted to in the draft and that the analyst Steph talked about. You select these drafts for these carries. You got to pull it off, and they do just that now. As the shutdown onto War Machine Hyper comes down, the 5v5 is so strong right now, but the flank from Captain Shrimps, it's a little bit too late. You're taking a 2v5 at this point. Look at the amount of positioning they have on this composition here as they are completely spread out. It is 3v5, and the Dragon will be started. Showstopper into the back. They won't take this fight. They take full lead. That's going to come down. Haymaker is going to steal a kill from the jungler. It is Short Hop in the background. Oh my god! They're going to take it back! What are we watching? Holy cow! Ezreal, Short Hop takes the fight, they get the ace, and they take the dragon.
Never forget about the little blonde boy in the back, Lennon. He will carry the fight. Nobody on this team can get onto this champion. We talked about it in the draft. Short Hop, this was his time to pop off. That quadra kill is going into his montage play on YouTube. They're going to get the dragon, the ace, and the Baron.
This is an 11-1 Ezreal 200 farm at this point. Almost 12.5 thousand gold, and you see it on every single Mystic shot, Smacks. He is popping shots and taking names. He should be a registered hitman.
And here I was thinking that the stacks with Smacks was going to be a great conversation to have, and then Short Hops comes in, quadra killing everyone.
They took a 3v5. Like, they knew exactly what they set out for themselves at the beginning of the fight, and they still went for it. Like, that is the confidence and just the absolute mechanical skill that you love to see.
Definitely do. And now we're gonna look at the replay. Of course, it does start off with a nice pick from Princess Kyle, landing onto War Machine Hyper. That's the target that you want to get things started off with as well. As when the fight begins, this is when they go for the dragon. But now, they have to deal with the Silas ult. They have to deal with the Set ult. They're thinking about it. They're like, all right, we got our position. We don't know where Chim is. Oh, now we know where Chim is. He's in the fight. But nobody, not even a single person, thinks about this Ezreal for a second until it's way too late. He's got the Conqueror stacking up. He's arcane shifting to the fight. And
the auto attack, not even the Mystic shot. Like, that is absolute chaos right there. And just Short Hop coming up clutch in the mid lane. Princess Kyle gets targeted on. That's going to be a big engage, but Timmy Turner gets flashed on by Short Hop. He's looking for the kill. Short Hop stepping forward. He gets the W, but can't follow up with the damage. Arcane's good forward. Is he going to have it here? The inhib is the target. They have the poke damage. Oh my god, Yukio. The True Shot Barrage is going to go wide, but they are looking for blood here as they are trying to push in the base. They step away for just a moment, and they look to press in these side lanes here. You have a bit of a wonky setup, and they will collapse onto this three-man stack here. They will try to go for it. Aaron is there. Heroic Entrance comes down on a pocket. Gonna get the double knock of the Lands Respite. Perfectly timed. Princess Kyle in there, but Ukio is on the back. That's already poked down. Another Lands Respite is going to be used this time by the actual Kindred. The damage on the Captain Shrimp is too much to handle. War Machine Hyper still pushing in the top side, but it is going to be Louisiana State University picking up a couple kills, trying to get back into this game.
Again, they can't get onto Short Hop, so they do still have to worry about the siege into them, but those two kills are going to feel really nice, an extra little bit of cushion for themselves to try to get back into this one, try to keep the turtle in their base alive, but still, 12,000 gold separates them from just randoms. And Lennon, I don't think the kill in the Silas one time is going to help out that too much. They still need to find that kill in the Short Hop. They still need to find some win condition in this game because things are dire.
They are very dire. But, you know, there's still this scaling aspect that they have drafted for themselves. You see little moments of brightness in these picks, in these fights, and it's just about targeting the right members, making sure you're not overextending yourself and not falling into a trap, because that is one of the biggest things that can just completely end this game is a single pick.
I mean, they got 2 picks right there, so that's going to help out pretty well. It is going to help out. Like we already mentioned, they're still so far behind. The game-ending pick is really just going to have to come from just random at this point, because Louisiana State, they're going to need about 30 of those at this point to get back into this one, and they're going to need to be well-timed too, because time is running out. 26 minutes in. Oh, here it comes.
Double knockup. That's huge. Dawning Shadow coming across. Short hop getting very low. The Grom shield is going to stop the ultimate, but it doesn't matter. Shutdown going over to Memento, but the damage following up by War Machine Hyper. He flashes out. He survives. How is that even possible? Now you have Silas TPing into the fight. They can continue to push this down in the bot side, as now you have a very, very even fight, but with the gold lead that Just Randoms have gotten, they just press forward, and that's another inhib tower falling. Horn's going to be used, is only going to get the knockup onto Yukio, though, and they get what they came for.
Another inhibitor taken. This time, though, Short Hop was killed. He didn't have his flash available, and that was a very nice lockdown by Princess Kyle, who does die in the end, but it's well worth it to get that shutdown over. They are going to lose this dragon, I believe, as War Machine Hyper, as you mentioned, he's still alive. They know that he has the threat to go for the smite, even though he's completely on the other side of the map.
He was bot doing Krugs, and now he's top with full health doing everybody else's jungle. I mean, that's just nuts. Now Soul Point has been secured for Just Randoms, and that puts them in a very good spot going into the next 5 minutes. They can do whatever they want. They know when this fight comes up, LSU has to press forward. They have to go into the maw of their death, potentially, and it's going to be huge. It's going to be really interesting to see how LSU do in their decision making as this game progresses.
I like the little thing that I'm sure your roommate would like to talk about here, Lennon. I like that Short Hop is not going for the Liandries, because he already has 2 members on his team that are building it, and you do still have to have some amount of tank shred. So I like that he's going for the Bork instead. I think that's a wise decision.
I mean, he's almost on 4 items.
Yeah, he
is insane. Like that is nuts. That real is not a cheap date for sure. He's got a lot of big items, but Princess Kyle going in with the quickness. Here's the heroic engine. Short Hop gets out of it, but the big knockup, the taunt. There's the land respite. Huge damage from the Dawning Shadow, but it doesn't do much. The double knockup. War Machine Hyper's in the background, but that's the shutdown going over to Yukio. And everything's falling to pieces here, but guess what? Shim's in the base. He's taking the tower. Nobody's coming back. He's just going to end the game, Smacks. Nobody can do anything. They now realize their doom, and they turn back onto Chim. Can they get the damage onto him? He gets the haymaker off in just a moment. He does not, and the damage falls. The tower is getting very low. That's already Aaron going down. War Machine Hyper will fall now, too. Chim still trucking here in the base. He can take everything he wants. He's just going to take it all here. That is potentially an ace coming through. And Chim blasting the emotes. He's going to take the last shots on the Nexus, Max.
Chim may not be one for the team fights, but he is one to end the entire series. Just Randoms with the set. Lennon, they did it.
What a sweep of a series. Chim making the executive decision to end the game. It was LSU trying to pick up the fight, trying to take the gold and get back to defend, but it didn't matter. Chim, with those double shots coming in, was too strong, and Just Randoms proved just how good they are.
Man, he gave him the 1-2, and then he gave him the 1-2 again, and then he started counting to 60 with those punches, and just taking down the entire base by himself, cleaning up everyone, the survivor of the Hunger Games. His 80 carry might have gotten that quadra kill around the Drake, but it was Chim at the end coming in clutch, ending the series 2-0.
And honestly, I would have loved. You saw so much good stuff coming out from Louisiana in that game. There were so many moments that their fights, their decisions around those fights were great, and they could pull off these picks. But the one decision, these little things that we talked about that could just end the game, because you are so far in the deficit, because you are with a base in tatters, you can't make those kinds of decisions. You always have to think about the back door. You always have to think about those base rushes. And what a game to come into, and what a series for Just Randoms coming into the playoffs. They make a statement here.
Yeah, me and Zuki, we're walking away with our tails between our legs. A little bit sad about our predictions, but it is still Louisiana State going to be making a run in the losers bracket. This is a double elimination playoffs. They have another chance to go back at it, and like you mentioned, there's still a lot of good stuff here for Louisiana State. I would very
There
much
is.
like to see them again. But
We
unfortunately, it
will.
won't be in another game today. They do take
No.
the loss to Just Randoms, who will move on in the winner's side of things. And
They
they've
will.
earned that spot, man. Those 2 games were
100%.
amazing.
It was. And LSU will drop down to the loser bracket. So it's not over. They are not dusted. They will have a chance to make it back and potentially face this team of Just Randoms if they can make it all the way back to the mountaintop. But for the big brain analysis, we're going to send it to the analyst desk. It has been Mazel. It has been Smacks. We've had an amazing time casting these games for you, and we'll see you next time.
Oh, hey everybody, welcome back here. We've got some other results coming in as well, but awesome 2-0 there from JR. I'm Paul with Beatdown and Dylan once again. And fellas, I mean that that ending was sort of tilting, but what a way to finish it there. Jim with the speed bag to end the match. And one of you I know mentioned Galio basically a super minion at the end, but
Yeah, Dylan.
JR, oh my god, yeah, Dylan's so right on that, and they're able to put that one away, but jeez, what a weird game. That wasn't clean from JR, but they ended up taking it pretty commandingly.
Yeah, I mean the poor Galio. Like the invade just kind of screwed over his lane. He fell really far behind. I think he had to burn his TP to get back to lane level 1. I don't know. I mean things just kind of fell apart at a very early stage in that game, and you really hate to see that because again, as I was pointing out in between games, I mean, you give up a gold lead to a team like JR, and sure, they did have some fights where they kind of tossed it back in the hands of LSU, but I think we all could tell after you have a 2,000 gold lead at 3 minutes that game's looking a little bit tough for LSU. So it did take them a while to close out. I think they're having a little bit of fun with it, but good to see that JR came up with the 2-0 win at the end.
Yeah, unfortunately, it seems like the time of death for that game was around 2 minutes when that disastrous level 1 play went through, because at that point your Ezreal's 2-0-2 at the beginning of the lane against the Senna, who's, you're both supposed to kind of handshake farm for a little bit as being really late game hyper carry champions, but at that point you just kind of lost the game off of that. It feels like at that point, even though recklessly, JR kind of stepped on the gas pedal and never let off until the end of the game. And although it wasn't clean, they still were in control pretty much the entire time. There was no way they could actually win any fight, even when they had a man advantage past a certain point. Once that Ezreal had 3 items, he was just 3v5ing, 1v9ing. Like, it was disgusting.
Yeah, that was actually pretty gross. As we take a look at the stats here, fellas, I mean, things got away from them from LSU really early. I mean, all those fights were simply around red buff for a while, and they're ultimately able to put that one away. But Short Hop with the quadra kill to Dragon to Baron, like as if it wasn't two before that.
Yeah.
That was just a disgusting way to put things away.
Yeah, I mean, Short Hop, during our little notes section, I mean, Short Hop's just built different. I mean, this guy, we saw him during week 5 of Risen. He played super well. I mean, he plays very well in solo queue. He's just a really solid player, and we actually managed to snag an interview with him a couple weeks ago, and he kind of talked about like the insight on their team, and I don't know. I mean, it's just very clear that this guy is a very skilled mechanical player. He had like a third or a little less than a third of his team's gold, closer to a fourth at a certain point, and the man was just pumping out damage. I mean, it was just an absolute insane performance from him. For my money, probably the MVP of the series. He's right up there with people like War Machine. Just really solid gameplay from him.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Absolutely. And just I'm getting a couple other results in here, folks. So a couple other updates across the board. So I believe here we're getting an update. So Zenith did win their series 2-0. That is official. And then I am seeing right now from Twitch chat, shout out to XT for this. Right now, it looks like TBA is up 1-0, but UTD is ahead of them right now in game 2, at least for a bit, but we're still waiting on those results. So if we get any others as we're wrapping up, we will absolutely let you know. But I mean, fellas, if we're looking ahead at the rest of this, the playoffs moving forward, and I don't know if I can bother K-Ted to put standings up again, but I think just in terms of teams to watch out for, I mean, Just Randoms has to be at the top of the list of people we really think. Oh, thank you, K-Ted. Of teams we think could really ultimately win the championship.
Yeah, I mean, JR It's hard to say. It's really hard to say because regular season record has so much to do with how strong was your group, and since all teams weren't streamed, and obviously nobody can keep up with every game, it's hard to say like which 6-0 teams or which 5-1 teams are the strongest. But JR just from the eye test, just from week one, just so unbelievably strong. I mean,
Seriously.
honestly, like they played so well. They were having a little bit of fun in game two, but I think they're definitely moving forward into round two of these playoffs as one of, if not the biggest favorite to actually win the whole tournament.
Yeah, that's right. If there were any doubts before, they've definitely been dispelled after this series. An incredibly dominating 2-0 sweep from JR. They honestly made it look easy. And even though we had high expectations of them, I still feel like they did exceed them with how well they played today. So they got to feel really good going into the rest of these playoffs.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it, right? Like, I'm still walking away impressed. Like, this wasn't just a given, and I think that's why. And Smax joked at the top that he predicted LSU partially for content, but there's a real. It's a different kind of match, and so there is that possibility for upsets, which is two teams having a good day or a bad day, but ultimately they are able to put this one away in a pretty commanding fashion here, and so final thoughts, gentlemen. I'll start with you, Dylan, on the series and ultimately what we might see or expect from it from JR moving forward.
I think, going forward, as JR actually plays against teams that, are a little bit closer to their caliber, I think it's going to be interesting to see whether or not they're going to get tested more. I feel like a lot of their plays that they went for in these two games were just kind of like mechanical skill checks. And you can get away with that, when you're a lot higher ranked than your opponent, when you're a lot better of a team than your opponent. But when you are kind of on even footing or even worse, worse on paper than your opponent, it's really hard to actually go for those coin flippy fights. You see teams like G2, they play a similar kind of style where you're always just skirmishing, you're always fighting over every objective, and as soon as you run up against a team that can actually, match you, punch for punch, things get really difficult. So I think moving forward, keep an eye on who they're going up against and how they individually stack up, and it should be really fun to watch their series going forward.
Yeah, I'd like to think Just Randoms definitely still look good going through the rest of the playoffs, but I agree they do have some concerns with how they play. They can't, it's okay to skill check against teams that are worse than you, but I do think they've shown us some signs of being able to actually play clean and proper League of Legends. So I do believe that once they actually do get challenged, that they can actually still put out a really good showing in that regard. And honestly, final thoughts for LSU, they're not out yet. They showed us some bright spots in the past. Even in this series, we saw some good play come out from them, especially the team play. So as they go into the losers bracket, they can definitely learn from the series and try to improve themselves, especially their early game play as they go into the losers bracket. And who knows, maybe they make a losers bracket run.
Yeah, and we will find out on Wednesday. It looks like again going from Twitch chat, seeing LSU versus GV going to be coming up. So a lot of shout outs and thank yous. Thank you to K-Ted, Joe, and Sam for all the production graphic work that goes into a week like this. Smacks and Mizzell crushed it as always. To the viewers, thank you for tuning in and being with us through the whole regular season into playoffs. Guys here, Dylan and Beatdown, always an absolute privilege. We have a blast here, and it's always great to do this with you guys.
Hell yeah.
We will be back next week. Now, we will be going, I believe, the next 5 Sundays or so, 4 or 5. We will start getting the best of 5s in a few weeks, like 1 week, like a one-off week. There might not be one, but generally speaking, these streams will be going much longer. So when you sit down to join us at 8 o'clock on a Sunday night moving forward, bring a snack and some waters. You're going to be here with us for a while. So we will see you next week. Thanks again. Have a great night.
From the side of Just Randoms, and we've seen a lot of things like this go down. The Raptors are going to reset here, though. War Machine Hyper still looking to get the damage. Does get the smite down. This is a big fight to go on early. Big taunt comes out, but it's not going to connect on all the members that they wanted. And we are sub 2 minutes, and we're about to get first blood. Ukio gets up, and he goes down. That's first blood to Captain Shrimp. Who else is going to fall? Look at the passive from Pocus. Can he get the damage? War Machine Hyper. Memento goes down, and it is complete and total destruction for the side of Just Randoms. They have taken the game early, and they will not let it go.
Oh,
No. Oh, no. Okay, he doesn't get it, but he is going to go straight down onto Memento. He is caught out, has to flash. That's huge damage onto War Machine Hyper. The kill, Aaron flashing forward, gets the shutdown, but Princess Kyle has to be careful. Captain Shrimp's going to be stunned down. The Lamb's Respite comes out, going to save the day for a little bit longer, but the Heroic Entrance is going to do some serious damage. A big shutdown going over to Memento, and they could continue this if they want to, but they decide to pull off, and they get a couple kills for it.
all right. Well, a little bit too much of the break room shenanigans right now. As
Oh my
Memento
God.
put to sleep.
War Machine Hyper, he had to pop the Lamb's Respite because the sleep was going to do so much damage on the other side of it. Flash comes out, he still has the power and passive on him. The knockup is going to connect, but it doesn't get the kill. You still have Yukio on the backside taking a 1v3, a triple taunted. Well done, and Kato! Aaron is picking up the slack for his team right now, and they are shutting it down. That's another kill over. Now War Machine Hyper is going to get rooted up. They go on to Captain Shrimp. That's a lot of damage down, but then watch out. Eep is going to secure the kill. He still gets shut down, though. Now Sword Hop has arrived. He's going to be popping these bits stuff. Can he get the damage down? Can he save Captain Shrimps? The Abscond of Duck Kingslayer is available for him. He will have that healing to him. Does he get the last shot? Captain Shrimps goes down. Whoa. He flashes forward. Short Hop with the plays. He does get rooted, though, and he could get chased down here. The slow's coming down. Timmy Turner doesn't get the knockup, but another shutdown going into Aaron. My goodness. This Senna has vision here. Short Hop has the flank. This is a really tricky situation for LSU. Here comes the Ornhorn from the Silas. The Ornhorn in response, but it doesn't matter. Aaron's down. The damage is down. War Machine Hyper's in the background, but it's Short Hop picking up the kills, and everything goes to hell in a handbasket for LSU as the Dragon is also secured by Just Random.
Man,
As Seth talked about, you select these drafts for these carries. You got to pull it off, and they do just that now. As the shutdown on the War Machine Hyper comes down, the 5v5 is so strong right now, but the flank from Captain Shrimps, it's a little bit too late. You're taking a 2v5 at this point. Look at the amount of positioning they have on this composition here as they are completely spread out. It is 3v5, and the Dragon will be started. Showstopper into the back. They won't take this fight. They take the full lead. The shutdown's going to come down. Haymaker is going to steal a kill from the jungler. It is Short Hop in the background. Oh my God! They're going to take it! Smack! What are we watching? Holy cow! Ezreal, Short Hop takes the fight, they get the ace, and they take the Dragon.
never forget.
He is there. Heroic Entrance comes down on a pocket. Gonna get the double knockup. The Lamb's Respite perfectly timed. Princess Kyle in there, but Ukio is on the back. That's already poked down. Another Lamb's Respite is going to be used this time by the actual Kindred. The damage on the Captain Shrimp is too much to handle. War Machine Hyper is still pushing in the top side, but 8 for sure. You've got a lot of big items, but Princess Kyle going in with the quickness. Here's the Heroic Engine. Short Hop gets out of it, but the big knockup, the taunt. There's the Lamb's Respite. Huge damage from the Dawning Shadow, but it doesn't do much. The double knockup. War Machine Hyper's in the background, but that's the shutdown going over to Yukio. And everything's falling to pieces here, but guess what? Shim's in the base. He's taking the tower. Nobody's coming back. He's just going to end the game, Smacks. Nobody can do anything. They now realize their doom, and they turn back onto Tim. Can they get the damage onto him? He gets the Haymaker off in just a moment. He does not, and the damage falls. The tower is getting very low. That's already Aaron going down. War Machine Hyper will fall now, too. Tim still trucking here in the base. He can take everything he wants. He's just going to take it all here. That is potentially an ace coming through. And Jim flashing the emotes. He's going to take the last shots on the Nexus, Max.
Chip